All right. I am so excited. I mean, we did something crazy. We took our tiny backyard at the historical property that we have in Delaware. It's a townhouse. Luke and I looked at one another, and you know he don't like to be on camera. But we were both like, we want to turn this into a dream oasis. So we came together. It was about 21 days. I would say 3 weeks. I was on the ground, I was shopping everywhere, making sure that I found all of the right items on clearance, but we pulled it off. We worked with several different vendors, contractors, but we took this backyard from 0 to 100. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly everything that we did. My family came through, people were supporting, even little Pickle was in the building. But, for what it's worth, it was a good journey and an amazing transformation. So stick around, see you in the dirt. Thank you for, stopping by. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Stefan. Welcome to Root and Roam Life. This channel is dedicated to home, to garden, and just the art of intentional living. It's something that I live by, and I'm excited to share, my journey around this. If you believe that, your spaces should tell a story, and that a life of design, nature, and adventure is possible, then you're in the right place. Before you forget, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We're in Trinity vicinity right now, and it's the historical neighborhood in Delaware. We bought a townhouse. The charm of this neighborhood is really unique. And when we got it, it was important that the backyard came to life, right? So Luke and I didn't really understand how to do that, but number one, first step, and that's the contractor, right? That's first things first. We knew we couldn't do this alone, especially with the brickwork involved. We needed someone who understood the nuances of working with a historical property, someone who wasn't afraid of a tight turnaround. The initial phase was all about outlining the vision. So we got some really good quotes. We landed on this particular contractor. It was a team, father and son, local. They were great. We had to make sure that we found the right team, right? That was a project just like we were, because we were on that 21-day sprint and we were able to turn that around. So if you stick around to the end of the video, you will see this transformation, right? It's truly amazing what this crew did. Step two is really about the shopping spree. That's where I come in, right? I really have a unique eye for deals. Number one, pots, plants, and decor. So once the contractor was lined up, I was in the streets securing things at the local nurseries, antique shops, big box stores. I was on that journey looking for like the perfect pots. I found this really nice 3-tiered fountain, but my favorite place is Terrain. And if anyone knows this nursery, the historical vibe at the townhouse needs something really unique and fresh and vibrant, and Terrain gives me that feel. The oasis there is, I don't know, I love it. So when I'm thinking oversized terracotta pots, lush greenery, unique items within this space, I always go to Terrain. It's something that, they just bring everything together really, really effortlessly. It's unique, and their vision is pretty much my vision, So my aunt and I, we took a weekend shopping spree, but this particular, I think it was a Saturday or Sunday, we were like poking around and we found a few items that could work. I like to kind of ask her, her opinion. She has a really good design eye. So we were like, okay, what about this color scheme? What about this size of a pot? We landed on a few. So that was exciting, right? So the shopping spree, it's never over. Like, I'm constantly looking and putting things in the living room and, just building my inventory until it was time, right? But, Pickle's always down for the ride. But step 3 is working with a brick vendor for the restoration. We were able to save about, I would say, 60% of the original clay bricks from the 1800s. The other 40% we had to work with a local brick vendor who matched the color, the texture, and the weight to the original. So we didn't want to compromise there. It was crucial that we were able to preserve the history of the townhouse and the neighborhood. So we didn't want to just get anything that wouldn't match. So the original brick was beautiful. We found something that not compromised, but complemented it really well. But for some of the section in the backyard, it needed a lot of love, right? Serious love. Because when we're thinking about the backyard, it's small. And when we're matching materials to ensure that everything is going to be put together in its original design and format, it was important that the aesthetics were going to be that, right? So with honoring the home's heritage and the structural integrity, they had to put down a lot of base first. They needed to grade the backyard so we wouldn't have any issues with water. They sloped it down to the drain. And that was all a part of step 4, right? The contractor relaying the bricks based on the original look and feel. When we salvaged the old brick, the new brick had to be, kind of looked at by hand and matched with the original. And the contractor did a really good job doing that. They had the expertise for sure to relay the brick and also to get the job done. When they removed the stairs, I wanted brick stairs, but I also wanted a raised garden bed. I thought that could be really nice. So to watch them bring it all to life was exciting. They were able to give me just the right height of a garden bed. We put flashing on the back of the fence to eliminate any erosion and, just to keep the backyard from not watching, I don't know. I just didn't want a whole bunch of water back there. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good blend. You can tell that it's old meets new with the kind of that clay rich fire engine brickwork matched up with that matte black stain on the fence. I feel like is a nice nod to old and new. But with any hardscaping, I think that it's important that you don't compromise. And the stairs was one of those. We couldn't have a weak stair because we were like, okay, we don't know how many people will be going up and down. And we couldn't afford to have all solid brick. So the cavity or the inside of the stairs is a lot of old material. But step 5 is where I get excited. This is, the styling of the backyard and planting the spring bulbs and flowers. And Aunt Lula, she really put her expertise back there, and we chose varieties that will burst with color, attract pollinators, and create the lush, inviting atmosphere that we were dreaming of. And for me, it is about that little fountain. That fountain is so special. I don't know why, but I don't know, just the sound of water in the backyard is something that I always thought was good. But and it's also relaxing. This is the opportunity for us to just get that joy, get that peace over coffee at the end of a work day. But getting my hands dirty is another thing that I enjoy. So we placed each plant with care. We truly felt like the heart of the oasis was coming to life, and it was super amazing. So as you can see, everything is in the ground. It's the start of a new season. It's the beginning of spring. It's 21 days and we got this backyard looking lush. And here it is. The grand reveal is crazy. This is the moment that, we've been waiting for. Hopefully you've been waiting for, right? Of course, we chose annuals, perennials, grasses, dahlias. Some of the items that are here are just on drip irrigation. I'm keeping them safe for the season because I will have to transport them upstate to the cabin, and those are my conifers. So I had the backyard serving as a little bit of my little local nursery of conifers. They were getting the right sun. I had them on drip irrigation. They were safe until I bring them upstate and I'll plant them in our backyard. So more to come there. But I really hope that you enjoy the transformation. I think that we created something nice. The transformation was something that we are proud of, right? We hired the right contractor. Step 2 was shopping for the right pots and the plants. Step 3 was working with the brick vendor. 4, the contractor relayed the brick. And 5 was planting the spring bulbs and styling the backyard. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe. Remember to comment, share, like, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.